season. Important games yesterday with Spurs in their chase for Champions League football, that late winner from Christian Eriksen, the Premier League's fastest ever goal from Shane Long after 8 seconds at Vicarage Road in a 1-1 draw with Watford. Arsenal beaten for the 7th time on the road this season tonight at Molineux by Wolves. But the most important one in terms of the derby and the title race, City's 2-0 win at Old Trafford. So a reminder, 35 play each now, Liverpool and City. 89 points, plays 88. 3 wins away from retaining the Premier League title. Manchester City is Liverpool in action next at home to Huddersfield on Friday. City go to Burnley on Sunday. Now, the chase for the Champions League spots. Spurs, as I say, had that big win last night. Chelsea go to Old Trafford, remember, on Sunday. It's in their hands now because Arsenal have missed that opportunity tonight in 5th. Manchester City top of the league, but Manchester United, if they were to beat Chelsea on Sunday, could go level on points with a worse goal difference than Maurizio Sarri's team. And confirmation that Wolves are up to 7th, a point ahead of Watford now with 3 games to play, a position, remember, that could be enough for the Europa League next season. So this is all that's left now. We are into the home straight. As I say, Liverpool play next at home to Huddersfield. City are at Burnley on Sunday. Then one more home game left for the champions against Leicester. Liverpool, in between 2 Champions League semi-finals against Barcelona, incidentally, go to the Saturday night game at St James's Park against Newcastle. Final day, it is City at Brighton and Liverpool at home to Wolves. Much more from Alan, Ryan and Shay to come. Those goals from Messrs Bernardo Silva and Leroy Sané keep the blue and white ribbons on the trophy for now. It is in the Champions. Just about that second half performance from City.
Probably made it look easy, Steve. They were in cruise controls. Yes, goals change games, and of course we'll look at maybe David De Gea, especially the second goal was poor, but I think once they got that second goal, then they kept the ball, kept possession and kept moving it. And we mentioned Lukaku as well. He was brought on to hold the ball up and it kept bouncing off him and giving the ball back to City, and that was, I just felt they cruised to victory in the end because the quality and the players they have on the pitch, you know, Man United didn't get a sniff after that.
Turned the screw, didn't they, the champions there?
Oh, they were brilliant. We said that they were pretty disappointing by their own very high standards in the first half. There were too many mistakes. United put them under pressure. Touches were poor, which we're not used to seeing. And then second half, it was just as if they slipped it into another gear and off they went and said to Man United, catch us if you can, and Man United didn't have enough ability to catch them.
Is that right, the ability? It's just the difference in quality in the end told?
Well, yeah, and obviously goals change everything. And when you go down against City, they've got players who can hurt you in behind. They've got players who can keep the ball. They can be patient. And obviously, especially at home, you want to try and win the ball back. And whereas the first half an hour United were getting to the ball and nicking it and winning it, as the game goes on, you just don't quite get there. And if you don't quite get there, then they're playing in them little triangles, in the little pockets. They've got Sané coming on with his pace, and it looks easy for them because of the quality that they have and the quality they can bring off the bench.
And also, when you got that substitution, normally you think, well, that's a blow, Fernandinho coming off. And Sané came on and had quite an impact, didn't he?
Well, and then you look at the 3 in midfield. They had the 2 Silvas in midfield and then Gundogan sitting. And it looked pretty light. But it might look light, but I tell you what, the ability that these guys have in actually receiving the ball under pressure, being able to handle the ball under pressure, no panicking whatsoever, and they draw you in and they play those little passes in and around you, and then they play it forward. And then when he came on, Sané gave them a little bit of width, he gave them the pace, and they couldn't handle him. It was a magnificent performance second half.
Leroy Sané certainly made an impact. And Bernardo Silva, you touched upon before the game, he's not only got goals this season, he's got big goals at big times.
Important goals, yeah, and I think he stepped up this season as well, again, under Guardiola's leadership. I think he's a fantastic player. You know, we talk about Silva, we always mention David Silva when you mention Manchester City, but Bernardo Silva, what a buy he's been as well, and of course popped up with the first goal, Steve, tonight, and you know, you might look at David De Gea, but you'd also look at Luke Shaw. I think he needs to show him away from goal. He shows him into the goal, opens the goal up, makes it more difficult for David De Gea. It's too easy. We all know Bernardo Silva is very much left-footed. hits it a bit early, and David De Gea will probably look back in the morning and think, you know, maybe I could have done better. You know, as a goalkeeper, you don't want to get beat at your near post.
Luke Shaw, United's point of view?
Well, first of all, Paul Pogba, you can get away with not getting back into your shape. He ends up being 1 yard away from the ball. If he gets back in his shape, that pass doesn't happen. So you can get away with it against West Ham, Watford. You can't get away with it against City because they'll play in them little pockets. Then Luke's got to show him onto his right foot. I feel slightly sorry, even though he got beat as a near post, for David, because once he's onto his left foot, Shea will know he can put it in the far corner or the near corner because he's that good. So pour off Pogba initially, I think. Sprint back into the position. Don't jog back into the position. Don't leave them spaces for City. And then Luke Shaw has to show him onto his right foot because otherwise it's just too easy and he's got both sides of the goal to shoot at.
From a forward's point of view, it's a magnificent player because he's too quick for everyone. By the time people realise, oh, I've got to show him down the right, by the time David De Gea realises he's going to shoot it, it's too late. The ball's in the back of the net. Because he takes it so early, no one's got any time to react. Before they do react, it's in the back of the net and he's away with his arm in the air. So from a forward point of view, just magnificent.
And the way the game was going, when you see City in front, as Ryan said, with the quality they had, you're always confident, aren't you?
Yeah, you are. I think, especially the pressure situation they're in, because as we said before, they won the game. So that first goal straight away in their heads will be, okay, we'll relax a bit more. We can play our football again and keeping the ball, as Ryan says, keep the ball, and something else will happen. We'll get another open, we'll get another chance, and that follows shortly after that.
It certainly didn't. Sergio Aguero hit the post shortly afterwards as well. It was almost like the relaxation button had been hit.
Yeah, you could just feel the confidence, the air of confidence that went through the team when they got that first goal. And then all of a sudden they're popping those little passes at speed where United can't really get near them. And Aguero, as you said, had that chance, hits the post. And I know that Man United had one little chance, I think, where there was Lingard at the far post. Other than that, I think City were in total control in that half.
Let's go live to Old Trafford and speak to the scorer of that second goal, Leroy Sané. Great to see you. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Hello.
How big does that win feel tonight?
Yeah, it was a great feeling. Well, it is a great feeling. I think it's the big game in this season, always the derby, and I think we're all really happy about it that we won here today.
How are you feeling at half-time?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit quite tense, but yeah, we tried to be patient, to focus on our game, to try to envelop in our game and to do our game.
And you saw Bernardo Silva get that goal. What about your goal when you went through that settled everybody's nerves?
No, it was a great one also from Raheem. I think we played it really good from the back to the end. Raheem saw me that I walked through, and he was also really patient to commit more the defenders and then wait for that I have the space. And I think I quite finished good, and I'm really happy about it.
Leroy, I'm just wondering that you came on for Fernandinho. Were you coming on anyway? Had the manager told you that you were coming on before that, or was it a substitution through the injury?
I think through the injury. In the halftime, he just said be ready, go to the warm up. But I didn't expect that I come that early straight away in. I think it happened more because Fernandinho was injured.
And what did Pep say at half-time, Leroy? Was there any panic stations at half-time? Was he quite cool? Was he wanting more from the team from the first half performance?
No, he was. I don't really want to say quite relaxed, but he always tried to help us, to tell us what we did good, what we did not so good, and try to help in our game what we have to do better to play better.
Leroy, when you look around that dressing room with all the experience that you've got and you've been down this road before, how much confidence does that give you in this titanic title battle we're looking at?
A lot. I think everyone knows from us that we have a really strong squad. We have special players on our team, young, really good players, all still, with a lot of experience and good players. So everyone knows, we can trust each other, and doesn't matter how the game is.
And just finally, 3 games to go. Is it still just take one game at a time? The great thing is it's in your hands.
Yes, of course. It's good that it's still in our hands. I think it's also important. There's 3 games left. I think we just have to stay focused and go from game to game.
Very well played tonight. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you.
Well done.
Well done.
Right.
Thank you.
11 in a row, Alan. It's incredible momentum at this stage of the season when you're going for this
It's
match.
just relentless. It is relentless. You know, I look at Liverpool, and 4 or 5 weeks ago we were saying about Liverpool, well, they've got Tottenham, Southampton away, Chelsea. If they win those 3 games, then what a position they're going to be. And then it flicks to Man City. Then they've got Tottenham. And then they play here this evening, and everyone thinks these games are going to be pivotal. And both teams keep on winning it. It's just relentless from both teams. And Liverpool will be sat at home tonight, and you'll hear all the stories about them not watching the game. The vast majority, including the manager, will watch that game tonight, and all of a sudden they go, oh, we have to go again. They'll pick themselves up. They'll probably beat Huddersfield on Friday evening, and then it'll be over to City again. It's I mean, both teams are giving us some incredible football this season.
You never watched so many Man United games, did you, this season that you won the league?
Well, I tried to say I didn't watch them, but everyone watched them, I promise you. And it was always relentless from them because they just never gave up, and both teams are at it. It's incredible.
Alan mentioned that chance at 1-0 for Jesse Lingard. There weren't too many of them for United. How big a chance was this, and how perhaps different could it have been?
Yeah, this was straight after their goal, really. So, I mean, Jesse had half a chance first half. And, originally we thought it was offside, but it's come off Kyle Walker. And we're just debating whether Kompany just gets a little touch. We can't quite see if he does get a little nick, which maybe puts Jesse off, but still it's a good chance. He probably just tries to hit it too early rather than letting the ball come to him and just cushioning it into the goal. But, yeah, I mean, if that goes in, you never know. It stops the momentum, but then after that chance, City scored the second goal and it was game over.
We'll have a look at that second goal in a moment through the eyes of Peter Schmeichel. After we've heard from the winning manager, the Manchester City boss, Pep Guardiola.
Pep, you said to us before the game, to win tonight, we have to be ourselves. Were you that?
Yeah, especially in the second half. The first half was a little bit, I understand the pressure that we have, to still be in there and always here Old Trafford and the way they play, Rashford and Lingard always runs in behind. It's always you are living within the limits. But the second half we spoke in the half time, so we have to win. You have another chance. We have to play to win. It doesn't matter if we lose at the end, but we have to try to win. And they play for the first action from Bernardo. We showed that we want to do it, and after the quality the players make the rest, and Leroy came in incredible well, and we make a good victory. Be calm now, rest, because now we go to Barley, and I know exactly how tough it will be, so now the people is going to talk too much. That important is to be calm, because it's still, it's tough to say, no, with 89 points, or Liverpool 88, we are not champion with 3 games left. It's almost incredible, but it's what it is, so we have to go there and make a good game there and try to take 3 points.
Is that easier said than done, to be calm?
We have to. Don't read too much. I said to the players, don't read, then tomorrow don't listen, don't switch on the TV. And just good regeneration, eat good, rest a lot, sleep a lot, and go in there against Barley.
What do you think got you control back in the game tonight?
Well, we knew it without Lukaku, we're going to play more movement runs in behind. We didn't know, played 4 in the back, 5 in the back. At the end, play 5 in the back. And all the chances they had, especially in the first half, we lose simple balls in the middle. When that's happened, always is difficult. We adjust something in the second half. I think with Gundo in position holding midfielder and Leroy, we were more dynamic, we were more aggressive, attacking by lines. And after the quality for the first goal and the other one, we make the difference.
Could Fernandinho have continued, or did you want to get Sane on?
No, because in the half time was a little bit problems in the both legs. The muscular was not comfortable. After when he came down, I thought he cannot follow him, and that's why we changed it.
No serious injuries tonight?
Well, Gundo has a big in the first half, and we'll see Fernandinho. We'll see tomorrow, after tomorrow, we'll see how the players there feel.
With the 2 goals tonight, you've already broken your own record for the most goals scored in the top flight. What does it say about this particular title race that you've done that, yet you're still neck and neck with Liverpool?
Well, both deserve the title. Liverpool and ourselves deserve it, just one. So I think the team is going to lose. They don't have regrets because they have done everything. So we are out for the Champions League for 1 inch and for 1 hand not given. So, but we did it. So in all the competitions the same. So we have to. So normally this kind of victories you can enjoy it the most, but now have to be calm. Have to be in the right pace and prepare well Huddersfield. After we have 1 week to prepare Leicester, 1 week to prepare the last game against Brighton, but all 3 games. So we cannot say how tough is Leicester with these incredible quality players in the middle and Vardy in front, and we have Brighton. Hopefully will be already stay in the Premier League and cannot play to don't be relegated, and game by game. So only we can do.
Well, next up for you is Burnley. What sort of challenge do they pose?
Against Burnley. So long balls, second balls, Boots and Barnes, they are incredible, strong in the air, avoid the crosses and many things, try to do a play. So now it's okay, we're happy, we have to enjoy today and tomorrow, but after you will be focused for the next game.
Thank you, Pep.
You're very welcome.
Pep Guardiola has told his players, he says, to turn off the TV and not read the newspapers. Just like Blackburn's title winning year, really, wasn't it?
We watched everything. That's why we nearly fell at the final hurdle. We were panicking.
Let's go back to Old Trafford because these 2 goals need discussing with Peter Schmeichel. Let's get straight to it then, Peter. David De Gea, 1-0. Any blame?
Risking saying not really. What's really clever about this shot from Bernardo Silva is he actually kicks the ball in a step. So you, as a goalkeeper, of course, you have to take everything into consideration. But look at that; it's actually in a step, and that means, and Luke Shaw actually opens up a little bit to that post. He should have covered that. He doesn't cover anything of the goal. That's what you look at from behind. What I would like David De Gea to do a little bit more is to come a little bit forward. We look at the other goalkeeper at the other end. He's very sort of aggressive, coming down, closing down the angles, and sometimes De Gea doesn't do that. But this one, I don't think that's blaming the goalkeeper. I don't think that's right.
Okay. 2-0. Can you explain that one?
Yeah, what we have to look at when we see this goal is the movement of Chris Smalling. I don't know what he's doing now. Why is he running over there, completely leaving? Then I haven't seen this. This is the first time I see this, and David De Gea is having a period now where, everything he used to save, everything he used to be lucky with, he's unlucky. And I think, obviously, I won't say this is a big mistake, but it's something that you'd expect him, a ball you'd expect him to save, but he's running out of luck, and it's really sort of it's terrible to sit here and watch this team falling apart, because that's what I feel he did today. I didn't think for 1 second they were working hard enough. They were not working hard enough for each other. They weren't putting any pressure on the ball. They had little spells of passing the ball to each other nicely. But when you look at the contrast, Manchester City, every single player, in blue, was running, putting pressure on the ball when they didn't have it, was working for each other whenever they had the ball. Every player with the ball had at least 2 or 3 options around them, and also an option long every single time. You look at Man United today, they didn't have that. You have players in midfield, which they might as well not have turned up today, and it wasn't pretty to watch.
Peter, stay there, because I think we've got a very interesting reactive interview from inside the United dressing room. Here are the thoughts of Marcus Rashford.
Well, Marcus, what's your reaction to that?
I just think that they were a better team today, and when we're not as much as a team as we should be, then this is what's going to happen. So we need to be more together. Any team will tell you that if you're not a team, you got no chance. It don't matter how good your players are, how good individuals are, you got no chance of winning games, and that's what we need to improve on.
When you say you're not together, what exactly do you mean by that?
I just think on the pitch we need to support each other more. We need to give each other options. We need to react better to mistakes. Everything, the whole bunch of it needs to improve, and nobody can do that for us. We have to do that between the players. The manager can't do that for us. We have to do it ourselves.
Have you spoken about that between each other?
I think it's clear to us. We spoke about it in the last game. It obviously wasn't good enough. Today again, it's not good enough. So we have to improve.
Even the way you started that game, did you not take encouragement from that?
It doesn't matter. The game's finished. They win 2-0. It's Man City. They come to Old Trafford and they play like that, and we play how we played. So, we go home now and it's not good enough. We have to reset.
Obviously, a big game now against Chelsea this weekend. I mean, it's absolutely vital to get the points in that. Arsenal have lost tonight. The top 4 is still on for you guys.
I think for now we need to just forget about all of that and get back to how we were playing. And when the manager first came in, and you know it's nothing to do with ability, because you know we have the players to do it. It's just about the attitude and willingness to do it, and we have to, you know, we have a template of when it was good, and we have to get back to that as soon as possible. Otherwise, there's no point speaking about top 4 or Champions League next season.
Thank you, Marcus.
Performance and the game tonight.
Well, we got a reaction, and in the end we were beaten by a better team, but we got a reaction from the fans, from the players. We had a goal, had efforts, didn't hit the target too many times, but you can see the work rate and everything was there, just wasn't good enough.
Ultimately, was it the golf and class?
Well, there's a difference in quality, definitely. That's why they're at the top of the league, and we are where we are. So, and they've set the standard. They've set the standard the last couple of seasons, and living in Manchester, I don't think we can be happy with that. And that's up to us to close that gap, and in the end, overtake them. That's the challenge that you have at this club.
You said you got a reaction. We just spoke to a very down Marcus Rashford, who feels you're still not doing the things you were under you a few games ago, still not making the effort, still not running in the way they were. How do you get back to that?
Oh, well, I think today you can't say that none of the players or that any of them didn't run. Everyone was running. I don't know the stats and all this, but you could see clearly there's an intent, there's a focus, there's concentration. Of course you'll be disappointed. Rashi had a terrific first half. He's always threatening, he's running in behind. He gets, you know, the attitude of wanting to create something was great to see. Of course they stopped him a few times. He's close today, and Rashi will be important for us, and he's got the right attitude, and we just got to keep working on it.
Strong stuff from a disappointed Marcus Rashford. Not a team. Questioning the attitude. What do you make of that?
Well, he's a young player. You know, you can see we've all done it. Interview straight after the game. You're emotional. You're not happy. Don't know why he's wearing that cap, but that might be just me, old school. That might be the modern footballer now. But yeah, he's